So this was quite an eventful week for Drake. Okay, let's get into it. I'm your boy Darren Green here to make another video about the celebrities child. Girl. So Drake and Joe Budden get into it. We got to get into it because I made a TikTok post a couple days ago. It was left on deaf ears. Thank you, TikTok. But I still got some things to say about this situation. I want to do it in a longer form. Want to upload. So yes, Drake claps back at Joe Budden for criticizing him on his new album, For All the Dogs. I think that's what it's called, right? Is it called that? Yeah, For All the Dogs, child. Now, I didn't listen to it. I listened to like snippets of the album. I love the song that got SZA in it. I only like it for SZA's part. And then that other song that SZA was in as well. Like, I literally like skip ahead to SZA's part. So yeah, that's what I got to say about the album. A lot of people thought it was mid though. A lot of people thought it was mid. Okay, and it's very telling. Every album rollout, it gets midder and midder. I mean, at this point, it's trash. But look, I can't say that because I didn't listen to the song or listen to the album. Y'all gonna be in the comments talking about something. Oh, how could you even say anything about it if you didn't listen to it? And girl, these damn Drizzy Drake fans, child, dizzy as hell. Anyway, Joe Budden basically gave his valid critique about the album. He wasn't the only one that had a negative critique on the album. I think Pitchfork gave it a 5.9. People around social media was saying that it was trash. So anyway, this is what Joe Budden had to say. Okay.
This is like Yachty rapping. This is like he rapping for the children. And that's yo, dog, I had to look up how old this was when I finished listening to the album. You are 36. Your birthday is in 20 days. I Googled that too. You will be 37 years old. Get the away from some of these younger niggas and stop these 25-year-olds.
They're younger than that.
I'm listening to the album. Yo, you're a 37-year-old billionaire. I get it that you appeal to the world. Loving about Cole, like my shit is happening in reverse. Like with Cole, he used to rap about kid shit. I'm a grown ass, like real Jersey City. I want to hear how you lost your fucking virginity. And then he started to grow up. And then the rapping sounded like an adult rapping. I'm want to hear adult Drake rapping for adult people.
No. I like how he said no at the end. But anyway, this was Drake's response, right? So I gotta, because these words are small, child. You failed at music. You left it behind to do what you're doing in this clip, because this is actually what's paying your bills. For any artist watching this, just remember that you're watching a failure give their opinion on his idea of a recipe of success. A quitter gives their opinion on how to achieve longevity. You switch careers because the things that popped into your brain had you broke living check to check, and the raps you write have 450 men showing up at your shows in dusty MS jeans to screw up their faces to mood music. That was a read. And pretending you are the GOAT. Please, to any artist that's doing what they feel is right, don't let these opinions affect your mindset after the fact. This guy is the poster child for frustration and surrendering. You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap not because you accomplished all you needed. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everyone's entitled to an opinion is real. This man is projecting his own self-hate, and the fact that I did and continue to do everything he wanted to do for himself. If you need it into simpler terms, I own a 767. He owns a modest house in the 973 and files first class on special occasions. That's a read. Like, okay, this was definitely his Regina George moment. I don't care what nobody had to say about that. I wish he would have left it in the diary though, because girl, this is butthurt. He was very much butthurt here because this is hurt feelings. We gonna get into a little bit what he said because there's some parts in there that I want to talk about. But Joe Budden made a response. He said that you'll grow up sooner or later. Father Time is always undefeated. Because let's get into it. Let's really get into it. Drake, this can literally be you in the next 5 to 10 years. Okay, your albums are coming out trashier by the release. Okay, you might do a podcast soon. And if it won't be a podcast, it'll be in the form of an Apple Music show. And I don't mean no shade by that. I don't mean no shade for y'all for the bars coming here. You talk about Nicki. No, Nicki's still doing music that is still good and still charting. Okay. Now, I'm sure Drake's music is going to do well. He has a loyal fan base that's going to listen to anything that he drops. The man can literally fart on the mic and it will probably it'll be in the top 10. We will never take that away from you. Okay, you can make hits, but it's a good music. Now, and Joe Budden and people on social, they're not the only people that are saying that. Okay, the music is just not passing the vibe check, and that's basically what he said. And not for nothing, right? He literally was easy on you because I used to watch the show religiously, and I used to listen to him drag people for their music for filth. Okay, the way he had Logic over here contemplating, you know what, that was what Joe Budden said about Logic's album, child, that was his 13th reason almost. Okay, you know, he has said some stuff, all right, in the past. I think he really kept it easy on you. He just basically told you, like, you need to stop rapping like these younger artists, which a lot of geriatric artists run into that problem. You are making music that panders to these younger people, and it's not, like, it's kind of working now, but in the near future you're gonna sound so outdated and trying to be down with the crowd that's out now. It's not gonna really stick like your previous records in the past. And I think that's what Joe Budden was trying to say. Now, did he say it in a real bitter way? Like, let's be very clear. Joe Budden is bitter as well. Like, let's be clear. Joe Budden is bitter. Yes, part of your little long essay is true. He is bitter that he didn't have the career that he had wanted to, that his music did not chart, pass, pump it up. Okay, that's true. However, Drake, you bitter too, child. This whole long ass essay was bitter. This was very much hurt feelings. Okay, hurt feelings. Now, the part that I want to talk about is the fact that he said that he's a failure. Right now, do I think Joe Budden is bitter that his career didn't take off? Yes. Do I think he's a failure? I don't think personally, and y'all can get in the comments and tell me what y'all think about it. But like, I don't think that when you sought out to do something and it didn't work out and you ended up doing something else and become successful with it, I don't think that's failure. I don't think you failed in life. Like, I feel like, I wanted to do radio. That's what I want to do. I applied. I tried to get in, didn't get in. Okay. But I'm doing podcasts, and let's say this podcast becomes number 1. You get what I'm saying? I'm not doing radio, but I've had a successful podcast. I'm doing something similar in that field. I don't think that that's I don't think that's failure. He failed as an artist. Okay, that's much he did. But he was able to come back into the limelight and had one of the most like popular podcasts in the entire, podcast. Like, when you think of podcasting, right, you think of Joe Rogan, you think of you can think of Joe Budden. I mean, Joe Budden is definitely in conversations. He's definitely top 5, and he's not even 5. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm a Joe Budden fan, because he's definitely said some things in the past that was I didn't like what he said about Megan Thee Stallion and how he had to apologize. He's definitely had moments where he, was toxic. The whole thing with Tahiri, his past, his domestic abuse past, allegedly. You cannot take it away that he's like one of the top podcasts out, right? Like, the Joe Budden podcast is, or at one point was, the most talked about. I mean, you see him all over the Shade Room. You see that the people are interacting. They're coming onto his show. And he makes a lot of numbers. The thing about it is, though, I just don't think that he's a failure because he didn't pursue rap or it didn't work out for him. Like that's an unrealistic expectation that, oh my goodness, like you didn't make it because it was you. It's your fault. No, bitch, it's like literally you didn't make it because you didn't make it. It's luck. Let's be very clear about Drake. Let's talk about luck, because Drake, you made it because of freaking luck. Okay? You was a Nepo baby the first. You landed your job on Degrassi back when you was a child. And you were always in that space. This whole started from the bottom. That was bullshit, but you started from the top. You just got more. You just ascended more. Okay, you didn't start from the bottom. So let's be very clear. Like it is because of your close connections, whatever the case is, your upbringing is the reason that got you here. Because let's be very clear, anybody could have said those lines. And we ain't gonna act like you ain't got no damn ghostwriters. Come on. So, and my thing is this whole narrative that he's bitter or whatever. I think you're bitter too. Like, didn't they come for you for dragging Rihanna in one of your recent lines and on your songs or wherever the song is? You was dissing Rihanna. What, you mad because you ain't with her? You mad because ASAP with her? That sounds bitter to me. Sounds like you're mad to me. Sounds like a failure to me. Child, get the hell out of here. And then the other part that I didn't like that he said, I never want anybody in this generations to think that everyone's entitled to an opinion is a real thing. Bitch, it is. What you got beef? You got beef with the Constitution, okay? Because we got free speech in this country, okay? And that's the thing. I said this earlier. I said, I don't know. I didn't say this earlier. Joe Budden has always spoke highly of Drake. Now, I don't know anything recently, but when I was watching the podcast and I was watching it very religiously at one point, he had nothing but high opinion. Like he spoke highly of Drake, right? The moment he got some pushback, the moment he actually critiqued his work, that's when Drake wants to come back. And I have problems with these little A-lister celebrities that, you've been loved for years, 10 years plus. People loved you down. The moment somebody gives you a valid critique, oh, it's y'all bitter, y'all mad, y'all want to be me. No, bitch, we got an opinion. Okay, you put the content out there, people are gonna comment on it, and sometimes people with big voices, people with big platforms, are going to comment on it. Okay, you take it with a grain of salt and you move the hell on. You didn't have to take his advice. He could have been wrong. I mean, I think that Drake is trying to rap like these new artists? I don't think that's the deal. I think that he's definitely experimenting with new sounds. And I did, not for nothing, I did like his the one that everybody didn't like. The one with what album is it? Honestly, Nevermind. I liked some of the songs on there. It was different. It was a different take. And I felt like he was in a different space. But then when he did the thing with 21 Savage and you made those lines, those jarring lines about Meg Thee Stallion, and then even with this, when you made this little line about Rihanna, it's just, girl, you want to be a mean girl so bad. And I'm glad you're going on a sabbatical. You need to really dig deep and get some healing and figure out what the hell you want to do with your life. Because, girl, we see you, girl. We see you, girl. Every album, it's almost like a coming out party. Okay, let's be very clear. We see you. I seen that line. Let me see. I got a screenshot it right here, child. I feel like I'm bi because you're one of the guys, girl. Like, Drake, what do you mean by that? Come on. Be who you are for your pride. Now, do I think Joe Budden is bitter? Yes. At the end of the day, yes. He's definitely bitter about he's not able to be an artist. But I think he came to terms with, and that's just because I was following his whole story when I was watching his podcast. He came to terms with the fact that, he's not an artist no more, and that, his lane is talking about hip hop and being a curator for the culture and stuff like that. I don't think that's a problem. Is he still bitter? Sure. Is Drake bitter? Yeah. Is he butthurt? Like, yeah, like he, at the same time, two things could be true at the same time. Okay. Budden is definitely bitter that his career didn't take off. And Drake, you're bitter that people just are not feeling your music. Okay. Your music is not passing the vibe check. And now you're starting to notice, and that's why you're going off. You went off on Charmaine the Goddess, and was really like talking about all the stuff that he used to say back in the day. I'm just like, oh God, you never healed from that. You never healed from that. Oh God, I need these people to start having some backbones. Like, and people, a lot of people that's famous, y'all have to understand. Y'all probably got like 1 million people loving y'all, but there's also another million that don't like your ass, and y'all need to eat that. Y'all really need to eat that, because I don't know if y'all parents didn't tell y'all when y'all was little, like, you know, not everybody's gonna like you, like especially times 2 when you're famous, because not everybody's gonna like you, and you need to accept that. And I'm not with the whole, oh well, you know, you don't know what it's like people in the comments and bitch. I've been dragged on social media, not at the magnitude of these celebrities. I'm not trying to compare my dragging, but I've been dragged before a couple of times on TikTok and YouTube, child, by conservatives, by freaking, I'm not even gonna get into the rest, but I've been dragged before. And you know, you take it with a grain of salt, you know, and you move the hell on. Okay. Anyway, tell me what y'all think in the comments. Whose side y'all on? Y'all on Drake's side? Y'all on Budden's side, child? Are they both wrong? Are they both girlies that are fighting? Like, you're both pretty, okay? Stop fighting. Anyway, see y'all later.